Yes, man.
All right, so I want to welcome everyone. This is Infrastructure of a Man. I want to welcome everyone to day 2 of setting our intentions for the next 365 days. For those of you all who were able to be here yesterday, I want to thank you all. I'm going to give a quick recap. For those of you all who may be watching this recording at a later time, I want to thank you for joining in. I'm going to give a quick recap of what we discussed and what we went over yesterday. And then we're going to wait a few minutes, start letting people in. I'm going to have a few people in, start letting people in, and then we're going to get started with the presentation. So yesterday, what we did was basically decided that we wanted to set our intentions for the next 365 days. Like I stated yesterday, many people celebrate the new year at different times. At the end of the day, any time that you want to, you can decide, I want to set intentions and I want to do something different with my life. It doesn't have to be at the start of a new year, whatever. It could be anytime you decide that, you know, enough is enough. I need to do something different. So yesterday we made a decision that, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to decide on what it is that I want to accomplish at the end of 2022, or whenever you're watching this video, for the next 365 days. Then what we decided, then we also went over what are some of the strategies that comes with deciding and making your intentions on what it is that you want to do. So we came up with a few structures and a few tools. So we got the SWOT analysis. We have the five W's. Hold on one second. You good? You can go. We have the 5 W's. All right. Sorry about that, you all. We got the 5 W's. We have the SWOT analysis, which I also named off. And we got a few other strategies as well that we're going to use to do this. And the second component that we're going to utilize is the fasting component. We're going to get into that today. Now, here's the thing, and this is why this is very important, especially when it comes to starting it off in the new year. Most people, they decide they want to do something and they kind of just jump in it cold turkey. They don't really make a plan. They just have an idea and they just act wherever they're at. And so what happens is, especially around the new year, what people do is they do what they say they're going to do for about 7 to 10 days. And then they fall off because they didn't adequately prepare for what it is that they said they wanted to do. And then they fall back into old habits. So what we're going to do is we're not just going to jump off the ship into the water. What we're going to do is become very strategic. We're going to become very strategic on what it is that we want to do. We're going to come up with a plan, and then our fast, which is going to be our sacrifice or our offering to the universe, our creator, is going to be what we are going to give and show, hey, this is what we're giving up. This is what we're letting go of in order to receive what it is that we're asking for. And then we're going to ask for what it is that we want. And then we're going to take the steps to do what it is that we need to do to achieve our goal at the end of these 365 days or at the end of 2022. So this is, like I stated yesterday, we're going to be on this Zoom call every day. This is day 0. Yesterday was the introduction. This is day 0. We're going to be on this Zoom call for the next 21 days after today, every single day, walking each other through. This is Infrastructure of a Man. So we are here to help one another as men. We have men from all walks of life. We have older gentlemen, younger gentlemen. We have gentlemen from all different religious backgrounds, spiritual backgrounds, different races, different creeds, different parts of the world. We're all here today because at the end of the day, we all want to be better men. We want to be the best men that we can be, the best fathers, the best husbands, the best community leaders. We want to be the best that we can be, so that way we can go and pour into others. So that's what we're here for. We're here for the accountability. The reason why we're doing it every day for the next 21 days is because we want to be held accountable. We want to make sure we have our plan written out, and then we want to be able to hold one another accountable to the plan which we come up with, because that's the only way you can be successful. It's the only way you can be successful is if you have somebody there that's going to hold you accountable, is going to be there with you. You can lean on. We all need help. We all need somebody to, to lean on. We all need somebody to, kind of give us that push. You can push yourself, but sometimes you need somebody. That's where us as infrastructure of a man come in at, to help one another, help each individual man that's a part of this entity that we have. So I want to give a couple of more minutes, about 6 more minutes, get started at 9:45. If you don't mind, can you put your email addresses in the chat? Also, introduce yourself in the chat. We have some new people here today. We got some people that have returned from yesterday. So just introduce yourself in the chat real quick. In these next 6 minutes, I want to go around and have everybody introduce themselves, give a quick intro. Nothing gotta be nothing major, nothing long, 15, 30 seconds, just so we all know who's here. So let's start off with Alex. Alex, unmute yourself and introduce yourself to everybody that's here real quick.
Well, how's it going? Of course, Alex, from Tampa, Florida, 31 years old, and born and raised in Florida. Spent 11 years in the Army. Just got out right at the end of 2019, and still adjusting to being a civilian at the same time, but continuing to grow as a father of two, as a husband for so many years I can't even count. Closer to 9 years, as long as the wife's not in the room. But yeah, I think it's the 9-year anniversary. But just happy to be here and just ready to continue to grow and bring wisdom to my family.
Perfect. Thank you, Alex. Up next, Derek. Derek, go ahead and unmute yourself. Introduce yourself, give a little 15, 30-second intro about yourself, Derek.
Good evening, everybody. Derek Chancellor Jr. from Fort Worth, Texas. Born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. I have a wife and 2 children, Latrell and Marie. Just in this space, just to grow, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, manning up. It's this my season just to keep growing and just to be a beacon of light, just to keep on just moving forward, just to be present and embrace every step, like water, just going with the flow, but at the same time setting boundaries.
Good. All right, we appreciate that, Derek. DeMel, go ahead and unmute yourself. Give us a little quick intro about yourself.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is DeMel Walker. I'm from Stone Mountain, Georgia. I work with middle school children and at-risk boys. I also teach health and physical education. Spent some time in the Marine Corps as well. And just thank you for having me as a part of this. As part of this, what we call it, a conference, workshop?
Seminar. Doing the seminar. Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it.
You married, got kids too, right?
Yeah, I'm married. I have a 4-year-old daughter.
All right. Cool. All right. So as we can see here, everybody that's on the call right now, we're all men. We got a man from Texas, man from Florida, man from Georgia, all different ethnicities, all different, just different walks in life, but we have some things that are similar. Everybody in here right now is married. That's a great thing. Everybody in here is married. Everyone in here has children. It's another great thing. So just those components that ties together right there are definitely things that we can utilize to help one another out, because at the end of the day, we all have a struggle at some point in time in our life. And I know there's some things that, hold on one second. I know that there's some things that we can share with one another. Hey, Rocky, how you doing? I'm gonna have you unmute yourself real quick. Introduce yourself. We're gonna get started in 2 minutes. So give about a 15 to 30-second introduction of yourself. Tell us, your name, where you're from, a little bit about yourself. Go ahead and go for it, Rocky.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just hopped on. My name is Rocky, man. I'm in Georgia. You know, I don't know much. What else so much to add,
You married?
I'm sorry?
Are you married?
Yeah, I'm married. I've been, it'll be my 4th year, this year in March.
Okay,
and I
you got children?
I got a 3-year-old son.
Good. Okay. So, and as you was coming in, that's what I was explaining. Everybody that's in the room right now, everyone in here is married and everyone in here has children. So, this is a great foundation. And then you don't have to have, you don't have to be married. You don't have to have children to be a part of our organization, but just to be a part of, just in infrastructure of a man, as we see, there are a lot of similarities that tie us together and that we can lean on each other and build with one another, to uplift one another in. So 9:44, we got 1 more minute left. We're gonna get started. Anyone else that comes in after that, they'll just have to catch up. So yeah, once again, I appreciate everyone being on here right now. Everyone being on here right now. This is good, man. This is good. This is how we start. This is how we build. This is how we grow. This is how we make one another better. So it's 9:45. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Anyone else that comes in after this, then they'll just catch up. I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. Hold on, y'all. My screen is acting crazy. Come on. All right. Share my screen. All right. So as I'm pulling this up, I just want to let everybody know. I know that this is, you might be busy or whatnot, but I want to make this as interactive as possible. So I want to make sure everyone, you have your pen, your paper, because at the end of the day, this is to help everybody achieve whatever it is they're trying to achieve for 2022 or for the next 365 days. So I want to go ahead and get this thing started. This is our Setting Our Intentions seminar, day 2 of Setting Our Intentions seminar. Yesterday we did it. Last night we did it, January 31st, got things kind of popping before the year 2022 started. This is Infrastructure of a Man. And this is a creative way to encourage everyone to think and to share ideas, gentlemen. So that's what we're here for. We're gonna keep this kind of short. Now, we're gonna discuss some things and whatnot. But like I stated earlier, I want us to be meticulous in what it is that we're doing. So I don't want to do a whole bunch of stuff all at once. Like I said, we got 21 days. We're gonna be here every day for 21 days. As we're getting into the fast. As we're getting into the fast. But as we're creating exactly what it is that we want to achieve, it's going to be we have to be very detailed oriented. And I know quite a few of you gentlemen that are on here are very detail oriented. So this works well with you, but I want to make sure that I do that because one of the things that I've realized is that I don't always have attention to detail. Some of you all who know me very well, I have a lot of great ideas, but I don't always have the best attention to details when it comes to executing those ideas. So when it comes to us doing this, I want to make sure that we leave no stone unturned. I want to make sure that we have all our T's crossed and all our I's dotted. So that way we can achieve what it is that we want to achieve. No more putting things out there and then hoping it happens. No more putting things out there and forgetting about what we put out there. No more putting things out there and allowing ourselves to fall back into old habits. No, we're going to address all of that so that way we can eliminate that and build it to what it is that we want to build to. Here's the thing about life, gentlemen. Life is like the Colorado River. Colorado River, as we know, strong white rapids. you get pulled into it, you get pulled downstream, it is very difficult to get pulled, very difficult to get out. That's life. Once you get sucked into a path, it's hard to fight your way out. But once you realize you need to fight your way out, you do everything you can to dig, scratch, claw, swim, put all your might and all your power to get to the shoreline, to get to the riverbank. I'm sorry, get over to the riverbank. Once you get over to the riverbank, then you need to make sure you get everything you need to get, because guess what? You got to get downstream. That's life. Like, you got to get to the end of life. Just like when you go on whitewater rafting, you got to get to the bottom of the stream. So when you're going, you need to pull yourself out. Maybe you got thrown in the river. Maybe you didn't know how strong the current was. Maybe you didn't even realize it. Maybe somebody else put you in the river and you even like, I ain't even want to get in this river, but you in it. You get over there, get on the riverbank, get all the tools, all the gear necessary that you need. This time you're able to prepare yourself. Okay, I know I need a certain life jacket. I know I need a certain rope, a certain boat. I know maybe I need to get me a snorkel. Maybe I need to get me, a wetsuit. All of it, get everything you need to get, because you got to get to the bottom of that river. That's what we're here to do today. That's what we're here to do for these next 21 days. Get everything we need, so that way when we jump back in the river of life, and we're going to achieve this goal, we have everything that we need. Now, as we know, when you're going down the river, especially something like the Colorado River, you're not going to be able to anticipate where a rock is at. You're not going to be able to anticipate maybe there's a pull current somewhere that you didn't know, and it may flip you over. You may not be able to anticipate that. Just like in life, there are things that you cannot anticipate. But if you properly prepare yourself as much as you can lessen the blow of those things happening to you. So maybe you don't know that your boat is going to hit this rock and you're going to flip over into the water. But you put on a wetsuit, you can protect yourself from hypothermia. You don't know that that's going to happen, but you have on the wetsuit, now you're at least able to stay warm in the water. You got on snorkel gear, or at least a snorkel mask, you're able to see underwater. So that's why it's very important to prepare as much as you can, and then jump back in the river and hang on and enjoy the ride down the path, fellas. Because at the end of the day, when you going down that Colorado River and you whitewater rafting, it's fun. It is fun. It's exhilarating. You got your highs, you got your lows. You have your scary points, but it is fun. And when you have the gear that you need, it becomes even more enjoyable. So that's what we want to do here. So today's agenda, like I said, we're going to keep it real short and simple. Doing our introduction to the session. Now, we're not going to go over all of our tools today. I just want to focus on our SWOT analysis. So we're going to go over what our attention is for 2022 or for the next 365 days. And then we're going to hone in on what the SWOT analysis is for that thing that we want to accomplish. We're not going to do everything else today. We're just going to focus in on the SWOT analysis. Then we're going to do our fasting outline. So we want to outline exactly what we want our fast to look like, which is going to start tomorrow. Our fast is going to start tomorrow. So we need to outline our fast, know exactly what we're going to be doing for the next 21 days. And then we're going to do our reading from Letters to a Young Brother by Hill Harper. Great book. We read the first section yesterday. We read the first letter, yesterday. We're going to read letter 2 today. And then after that, we'll wrap it up and we'll be done. So I want to give everybody about 30 to 45 seconds to get pen and paper, so that way you can start writing these things down. As I explained yesterday, you all can get your pen and paper. I'll be talking while you get your pen and paper. As I explained yesterday, the reason why we want to have pen and paper, the reason why we're writing things down and not making a vision board, is we want what's called the generation effect. The generation effect is when you write things down in your own handwriting, it sticks to your long-term memory better than if you would have put a picture up that somebody else took, or would have put something that someone else is writing or in typograph. It's better for you to write it down yourself, so that way it sticks in your long-term memory. We want it to stick in our long-term memory, so that way we're always in remembrance of what it is that we're doing, and then we can follow all the way through to the end of the goal. That's what we want to do. That is what we want to do. So I'm going to put some stuff up. I'm going to put stuff up on the screen, but I also have my notebook and my pen right here as well. So I'm going to be writing things down as well, just like I'm having you all do. So I'm going to give y'all another 10 seconds to get that if you haven't already gotten it, and we're going to get going. Make sure there's no one else trying to come in. All right. All right, gentlemen. So I want to give a quick introduction. My name is Virgil. I am the founder of Infrastructure of a Man. The goal of our session today is to turn chaos into clarity. And at Infrastructure of a Man, our role is to keep men on track and ensure that real men prevail. For you all who don't know, I've written and published 2 books. I have my first book, well, a book and a journal. I have my first book, which is Making Your Enemy Your Footstool: How to Use the American System as a Black Individual in America to Your Benefit. That's published and is on Amazon. I also have I also created a journal, the Garden Bed of Life journal, which is a journal that I created to help people take their ideas, which we start as seeds, and bring them to a harvest, which is bringing them into reality. A 45-day journal helping people follow through those steps and those outlines. So that's on Amazon as well. So if you're interested in either that book or that journal, you can go on Amazon, search the title, Making Your Enemy Your Footstool, or the Garden Bed of Life journal, both of them by Virgil Johnson. And you'll be able to pull those up and utilize those if you'd like to. All right, so the first thing that we want to touch on, what is our intention for 2022? Yesterday, I said when we come up with our intention, it has to be very specific. So we talked about, we gave an outline of what SMART goals are, but we're not working on that today. But our intention has to be very specific. The reason why it needs to be specific is that way when you're making your plan, it leaves room for any deviation. You could be very intentional about what it is that you're doing. Also, at the end of these 21 days, we're going to be going to the Creator, the universe, whatever it is that we subscribe to. We're going to be going to that entity and asking that entity for this. So we want to make sure that we are very direct in what it is that we're asking for. If we're very broad, very general, guess what? I don't know if you all notice or not, but the life that you're living right now is the life that you asked for. Some way, shape, or form around it, you asked for this life. The majority of things that you prayed for, you got. It may not look how you wanted it to look, or it may not look how you thought it was going to look, but you got it. So if you are struggling with some of the things that you have in your life or where you're at in your life, don't look outside yourself, look inside yourself, and what is it that you've actually been asking for? So that's why you need to make sure that you focus in on what it is that you want to do in your life, especially for these next 365 days. So I want everybody to take about a minute or so and write this down right now. I'm going to write this down here, and then I'm going to also put mine on the screen. So that way you all know, okay, I have mine right here. So it'll take a couple of minutes to write yours down. I'm going to go to mine. Let me see my 2022 intentions. So my first intention is let's see. Hold on, fellas. Come on. On a little technical difficulty. Hold on one second. All right. All right, so I have three intentions that I want to focus in on this year. So first off, all my intentions tie together. When I thought about this, I wanted to make sure, because I was thinking about my SMART goals, I wanted to make sure that my intentions all tied together. So a consultant, public speaking, and author, all of those for me in my life, they all tie together. Me being an author, I have a book. I have books. I write on subjects. People bring me in to speak about those subjects. And then people also contact me to consult them, to help them with those subjects in the book. So that's why I know all of my things tie together. I'm not saying, hey, I want to be a NFL player and a, rodeo clown, or, stuff like that. Like the things that I have all tie together. NFL players and rodeo clowns, they don't tie together. So whatever it is that you said you want to do, whether it's one main thing or maybe you have a couple other things, these are just the professional part. Of course, we have, the family part. And those are things that you want to focus on as well. Maybe you're set in your career. Maybe you want to have a stronger marriage. Maybe you're set in your marriage and you want to have a stronger connection with your children. Maybe you're an awesome father and you want to be a greater community activist. Whatever your intention is, that's what we're setting here. And we can also do, maybe you feel like you're lacking in all of those areas and you want to focus in attention to all of those, whatever it is. Be specific about the type of husband you want to be. Be specific about the type of business you want to have. Be specific about the type of father you want to be. Be specific about the type of community leader you want to be as well. Because these things will be coming to fruition for you as long as you follow in line and you keep in step and you keep moving. So I'm going to write mine down really quick. I typed it on the screen, but I want to write it down. Now, as y'all look at, if you all can see, I know you all should be able to see my goals on my screen. I know some of my goals, you see the dollar amount next to it. One thing that I don't want you to do is fall in love with the prize. So I put the dollar amounts there, not because my goal is to get there, but the reason why my goal is to get to those specific numbers is there's a certain level of accountability, and there's also a certain standard that I must be at, and there's a certain service I must provide in order to reach those numbers. So for instance, to be a public speaker that makes 10 grand a month, I can't be subpar. I can't be piss poor. Like I have to be a great public speaker, especially want to get to that number, from 0 to that number by the end of the year. So that means I have to be immaculate at my job. I have to stand apart out of the realm of every other public speaker. Being a consultant and make $100,000 a year as a consultant, you have to be an excellent consultant. So I'm not focused in on the $100,000. The $100,000 is the goal, but my focus is more so on the journey to the goal. The $100,000 is just a byproduct. If I am the greatest male consultant this year, then the byproduct of that is $100,000. My goal is to be the best, and the byproduct will come with that. But as we know, we learned yesterday, when it comes to goals, they have to be measurable. So I could just say, oh, be a great consultant, but how do I know I'm great? So that's why I put the dollar amount on there, so that way I have something to measure. Have I reached my goal by? So that's that. So let me see here. Go back here. Real quick, Alex, if you want to take yourself off mute, do you mind sharing with us what maybe one of your intentions are?
No, I don't mind sharing. I think I need a little assistance as being more specific as far as to make it more measurable. But one of the things that I want from what we were talking about yesterday to what I want to improve for myself was I feel a lot of times I hold myself back in certain situations because I don't want to make others feel as if their light is not as bright. Like there's times even where it's something at work and I'm doing some training, I may know the answer. And I mean, it's kind of like makes me feel like a kid now that I'm saying it out loud. But even when I know the answer and someone's asking for it, I may hold back a few seconds to give someone else a chance to try to answer it.
Okay.
And I did that recently. I just changed positions in my job, and that's something I was doing in the training because I didn't want the other people that were in the same training to feel as if they weren't, as at that level. So one thing I wanted to do was stop trying to dim my light and just more invest in myself. Where it comes to something like that, where it comes to work training or just more the physical and mental health side of it, just being more comfortable with spending time to make me more positive. I struggle because I want to, spend time with my kids, spend time with my wife to keep our relationship strong, and spending time around the house as a man, fixing whatever we need to fix or investing what we need to invest in. I struggle with spending time to keep me myself or to keep me more comfortable with being myself, and I feel like it kind of has like a domino effect that sometimes. But
okay. No, so one of your intentions or your attention, and of course to get more detail, but the base of your intention is to be more balanced. Is that what we're getting?
Yeah, just being more comfortable with understanding that I am who I am, and just investing in me, because no one's going to want to invest in me, whether it's an employee or really any aspect of life, if I'm not putting time in for myself or bringing my self-worth to the table. Then I mean, who else is going to say let's give that guy a shot kind of situation?
I got you. Derek, we've got Derek, Rocky, DeMel. You all are all married men. You all are married men who work and have children. Can one of you all, or if one of you all or a couple of you all can give like a little quick tip or, quick, what's the word I'm looking for? Tip or just a piece of advice to Alex to help him kind of hone in on that, was maybe something that he can do to kind of help him hone in on being more balanced or being more whole.
Well, to chime in on that, one thing, like we speaking about balance, like I was at this retreat at Man Camp not too long ago, and I always thought about balance. Like the thing about finding balance is like it's really not balance. Like if you get on a scale, you're at a 0. Okay, it's more finding rhythm. because you're not gonna just be balanced. It's the rhythm, you know, like that's like the water. You want to be that ripple effect. And then going back to what you're saying about like taking somebody light, you know, because each one of us we got our own gift, you know, but that's growth right there, Alex, that you have self-awareness, that you are considerate about the other people around you. But like when it comes down to marriage, like from my experience, it just being more present, you know, and listening, being grounded, you know, when to speak, and just honing it and just honing it, man. Just be patient. And just take your time and find that rhythm, be that ripple effect.
Yeah, that's
Because
beautiful.
it,
Hmm.
you know, like water, because see, water, it'll go between cracks, you know. You just gotta just be like water, just let it flow, you know, don't expect so much. And every action causes a reaction.
Yes.
So how we react to certain situations, you know, when it comes down to family, you know, our spouses, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's to us, you know, it start with us,
Yes.
like how
Rocky,
we
oh my
respond.
bad. Yes, sir. Okay, that's good. Appreciate that. Rocky, you want to chime in real quick?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like the brother that just spoke kind of did a good job at it.
Okay.
I'm still learning too, man. I think the biggest thing is like when you talk about it, I think the biggest tip I would give someone is being like present in a moment too, because especially as men, a lot of times we got so much stuff going on. It'd be hard to balance, like the brother was talking about, and it's also difficult for us to be. I don't know the like the term I'm looking for, but it's difficult for us to be present in the small moments. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's
I
one
got
of
what you
the
said.
that's one of the real like important things, especially as I'm learning, you know what I mean, being married and stuff. The biggest thing is being present in a moment, because like I said, as men, a lot of times we we in a moment, but we thinking about all the stuff we gotta get done
Yes.
or all the stuff we gotta do. You know what I mean? Or
Yep.
I gotta pay this, I gotta take my wife here, I gotta take my kid. You know what I mean? So
Yep. Yep. Good.
And
Good. Appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
and to add something to that, like we talked about the other day, Verge, you know, like how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a
You
time.
know, one bite at a time, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing, like I also learned about like breathing techniques, you know, like in that moment, like controlling my breathing.
Okay.
Because like the struggle of being a man,
Yes.
because we do have
Yeah.
a lot of roles we gotta like, you know, we're a father, we're a husband, you know, we're a brother, we're work, we provide, you know, and sometimes it's like we're not enough.
Yeah.
But sometimes we gotta give ourselves clarity, like, yeah, Derek, you are enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that go back to that every action cause a reaction, like how to respond to certain things. Like sometimes like we gotta choose our battles at that moment too. Like
Yes.
learning when not to speak. And that's like one of my things, because I am speaking, you know, but at the same time we gotta be an effective listener as well and
Yes.
be more receptive too. Cause like to be transparent with you guys today, you know, last night, you know, my wife called and we've been, you know, out of sequence for a little bit. But she called me and I was present. I just listened. Cause that's something that we struggled with when it came down to communication. And then they go back to like, you know, like your inner child, you know, like past behaviors, you know, growing like generational, like with your family, like growing up, like how you was raised. And when it comes down to speaking, like, and I was coming up, I was always out talked. So I felt in order to get my point across, I had to out talk you, you know. But then once I realized I gotta be quiet and just listen and just be patient. Yeah, you have to be patient and just listen and be more effective. I thought I was a good listener, but sometimes like we just gotta listen and the best like that quote, shoot, the best thing to say is nothing. You know, just to hear them out, man, and just be present at that moment, just to listen. And I listen to I just like it just learning when to respond and when not to respond.
Okay. Good. So and now and I don't want to put anything on you, Alex, but what I've gathered here, and we're gonna get the mail in here a couple of seconds here, but what I've gathered is maybe this intention that you were talking about, maybe that intention, is it to be more present? Is that something that we're gathering? Alex?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, I took notes even in that moment, just with the advice, but definitely being more present make me feel more confident. Especially when it comes to marriage, as everyone was saying, it's just I know I'm that's one of my biggest weaknesses is, you know, if my wife is trying to get her point of view across, my first instinct is to find the answer, and that's what I'm focused on. The moment she starts talking about a problem, instead of listening to her in that moment, I'm like, all right, well, I already got this answer. So as soon as she stops talking, I'm ready to give it. But at that point, you know, it's not listening, I'm not in that moment, and yeah, it is a weakness. So yeah,
Yes.
that definitely brings some major benefits. So
Yes, and also that being in the present, that also ties back to what you were talking about with your job.
right,
Because here's the thing, when you're in the present, you are figuring out, when is it time for me to lead. So you were saying, you know, sometimes you want to shy back because you don't want anyone else's light to be dimmed. Am I correct?
right, yeah. So I got
But
on my
now
notes.
when you're in the present moment, and you're getting and you're gauging the feeling of the room or the environment around you, you realize, hold on, wait, it's time for me to lead right now. People need my leadership right now. That's being in the present moment. So stepping outside of the present moment would be like, okay, I think I should, you know, let somebody else know. In the present moment, you realize, no, I'm the one with the answers. I'm the one that needs to lead in this moment, because there are going to come times where you may have to follow someone else, but you have to understand in each moment when it's time for you to lead. So being present and understanding, no, it's time for me to lead right now. Real quick, Demel, is there anything you want to add real quick?
Man, it sounds like everybody's on the right track. I know we're all still learning, but I just reinforce the importance of understanding the moment. Um, I like to look at nature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, I'm trying to learn how to plant some crops in my yard and everything. And it just tells the tale of understanding the importance of the moment and being patient. Sometimes we want everything to happen when in our time, and sometimes it's just not that time for that.
Yes.
Just taking time and enjoying the moment for what it is, and not what you think it should be, but what it actually is.
Yes.
Understanding the moment, because
Yes.
everything else in nature, they have that understanding. You know, and when it's time to grow, it's time to grow. When it's time for the seasons to change, they adjust accordingly. So just be in harmony with that moment. You know,
Yes.
um, I try to separate work and home and even my own stuff, and it's a challenge because sometimes your wife want to talk to you about something and you thinking about something else. It's just setting aside time for those moments. And when you can't set aside the time, then whatever the moment is, it is what it is. And
Yes.
embrace that.
Yes. Good.
That's what I
Good.
have.
Good. Appreciate that. I know we just had a couple of people come in. For those of y'all who just came in, right now, what we're doing, we're talking about, you want to get some pen, you want to get a pen and some paper out. Right now, we're setting our intentions for the next 365 days. So right now, we're trying to hone in on what our specific intention is and what is it that we want to achieve at the end of the next 365 days. We all just wrote that down. So I think Ty just came in. So if you want to take a quick moment, you know, to write that down, and then we're gonna move forward. We're gonna keep this thing short, sweet. We're gonna be on here every day for the next 21 days. So we're not gonna have an information overload. We're gonna keep it short and sweet, so that way we can get what it is that we need to get out of each session, and not leave confused. So Alex just gave a great point. He just gave, you know, what his is real quick. We have that. So we have our intention. Let me go back to my slides here. All right. So what is our intention for 2022? If everybody want to just take a couple of more moments to really focus in on what they want that to be, and we'll move to the next thing. That was great input, everybody. So as we're moving to the next section here, one of the quote, I heard this quote maybe 6 months ago, somewhere around there, and it says, "Success is predictable." And when I first heard the quote, my mind, what scarcity mindset was like, no, it's not. You know, you got all of these things, da 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 da. But then when the individual started explaining it, and then I started thinking in a mindset of abundance, it hit me. No, success is predictable. You can't control outside forces. You can't at all. But what you can control is the things that you do. And if you do enough successful actions over and over and over and over and over again, you're going to be successful. And that becomes predictable. Very simple. So you're at home. Let's just say I'm giving a quick example. DeMel, you talked about you're a teacher. You're in education, so this may resonate with you. You're a student. You can't control how much homework your teacher gives you. You can't control what homework the teacher gives you. But what you can control is you doing the work. If you have any issues or questions, asking your questions. If you still aren't understanding, getting a tutor, studying for your test, doing all of that. If you can do all of those things consistently, not like one day, not like for one test, but every test, then at the end of the semester, you're guaranteed to have passed. Simple as that. Now, are you going to have 100% in the class? Maybe not. Maybe you have a 91%, but you still were successful. So success is very predictable if you do successful actions over and over and over again. So I want to read this this quote from Sanskrit really quick. It says, "The one who is lazy and doesn't put in effort is unable to acquire knowledge. Wealth does not come to one without knowledge and qualification. In such bad times, one cannot make good friends, and happiness is far away from him." So when we think of wealth, we can think of a wealth of anything: a wealth of love, a wealth of friends, wealth of money, a wealth of joy, a wealth of peace, a wealth of abundance of anything. That doesn't just have to be a wealth of money, but none of those things can come to you if you're lazy and you're unable to acquire knowledge about it. If you don't know how to, if you don't learn how to talk to people, how to interact with people, you can't have a wealth of friends. You can't have a wealth of associates. You can't have a wealthy network if you don't know how to talk to people, deal with people. If you never learn how to properly handle money, then you can't have a monetary wealth. If you don't know how to calm the thoughts in your mind, you can't have a wealth of peace. So if you're lazy at putting in the effort to acquire the knowledge of gaining these things, then you cannot have wealth in these areas. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you're putting in the effort to acquire the knowledge to achieve these things. And that's what we're here today. We're here today to put forth the effort so we can gain the knowledge to make sure that we are able to achieve the goal that we're trying to achieve, which is which is reaching or obtaining our intention for the next 365 days. So today what we're gonna focus in on is our SWOT analysis. So our SWOT is our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. So in regards to the intention that you came up with earlier, I want us to take a couple of moments here to recognize, and you can, go through it right now. And then if you need to later on when we get off the call, go through it more in depth, do that. But, just really take your time to write out in regards to your goals. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? And then what are the threats to this goal or this intention that it is that you're trying to achieve? Let's take a couple of moments to do that really quick. We're gonna take a couple more moments and we're gonna move on here. All right, so we're gonna go real quick, just share a couple of these on one another, take a couple of seconds to do that. Derek, in regards to your intentions that you want to achieve for the next 365 days, what are some of your strengths that you have that tie to that?
My strength is like to speak. You know, I connect well with people. You know, I can speak to a stranger. A stranger not a stranger to me.
Gotcha.
My weaknesses, when to be quiet at times. You know, not like overpowering it. You know, giving people their moment when to speak. And I have grown a lot since then. I've seen the growth. My opportunities, like I mentioned, my connections, and my threats. I'm trying to see where I go with the threat. Let me see.
We could come back to it when you think of it. We'll come back to it. Rocky, you mind sharing with us your SWOT analysis real quick?
Yeah, sure. So let me go to the page real quick.
Gotcha.
So for my strengths, because one of the 3 things I wrote down was to finally complete my technical certification in software development.
Okay.
And I put my strengths is that that's more of a career goal. So I put my strength as like my I guess you could say intellectual curiosity and genuine enjoyment of it. You know what I mean? Like it's actually fun. It's not, just something I'm trying to do for a dollar amount. But the dollar amount is the prize that you get to when you enjoy the process.
Yes. Absolutely.
I would say my weaknesses is I don't execute as I should. I mean, y'all know how it is. You'll start something, and like I'm actually enrolled in a course to finish it, and it's one of those things where it's all on my time.
Yeah.
So I'm like in a limbo thing. It's like I'll start something, and I'll be on it for a month. You know what I mean? For 3 weeks, and then something slight will catch my attention, and I think my weakness is I know I could do it. And I know what I need to do. I just don't execute on knowing what I need to do in that particular field. And I think I put my threat as like the same thing as my weakness. I think that, the biggest threat to it is sometimes that lack of consistency, because it's like, you know what you're capable of and you know what you need to do. But sometimes, man, we get so busy doing everything else, we just don't do it,
Gotcha. What about your opportunities? What are your opportunities?
Opportunity wise, I think I would describe it as when it comes to that completion of the certification and the career development opportunities. I've started to develop some like I call them like mentors in a way.
Gotcha.
That are established in the field, and they kind of like giving me game. So it's like the opportunities are being presented to me. But it's like, am I gonna press that button? Am I gonna put my foot on the gas and go take it?
Yes, sir. Got you. All right, that's good, man. That's good. Demel, you mind sharing your SWOT analysis with us?
All right, sure. One of the, I guess I just do one. One of the things I want to do moving forward is creating more streams of income to move towards autonomy from my place of employment.
Gotcha.
As far as my strengths are concerned, I think I have the intelligence and the analytical abilities to kind of break down what I need to do And I think when I am focused, I'm very persistent about what I do. But on the flip side, the weakness is staying focused and consistent. When, and you know what I mean? When you're in the zone, you're in the zone.
Yeah.
You know, but when life happens and you get distractions from family, yourself, or your whatever, then it's hard to stay consistent. And like you
Yeah.
said, that consistency is the key. You know, it's one thing to make one half court shot versus making 25 mid-range shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as the opportunities is concerned, I mean, I really have the resources and the support network that I need. It's just locking it in and bringing and connecting the dots.
Yes.
And as far as stress is concerned, stress would be being distracted from the day-to-day responsibilities that come with just being a man, being a father, being a husband, being a teacher, being everything to everybody else. Yeah.
Got you. Real quick, Derek, were you able to come up with your threat?
Yeah, I could probably I can connect with that as well. Like the lack of consistency, you know, they go back to what we were speaking about earlier, you know, like, you know, being present, you know, and just embracing the journey, you know, not let them like keep my feelings under control.
Okay. So a threat to you obtaining your goal would be your feelings and emotions.
Yeah. Cause
Gotcha.
like with my big heart I have, man, like I have a heart. I'm talking about, but I am who I am. But I realize in the space that I'm in now, like the fire is under me to grow.
Yeah.
Like looking at this opposition is opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Good. Alex, what's your SWOT analysis for your goals? Or your intention, my bad, your intention.
Sorry, I gotta find my notes again right now. Well, as the strengths, I put down notes of that. I love being a people person. I love connecting. I love building bridges, and like I feel like it's kind of a natural thing. Like I know someone mentioned earlier, like you can talk to a stranger and not feel like you're talking to a stranger. Like I can break down a conversation and feel like I blend in that moment. But when it comes to weakness, I feel like one thing I struggled with, and it kind of connects to what I was saying earlier. I felt like it was hard to do that with the age we're in right now, the training environment. It was hard to do it because we weren't in the same space. We were all doing this online learning, online communication. You know, you can't really understand a person if you can't, you know, go based off everything you've known so far, based off their body language, based off their facial expressions. It's hard to understand someone when you're just talking, you know, even something like Zoom or something like, you know, a phone conference. So that was kind of a weakness that fell in with it. Opportunities, I feel like.
Oh, my bad. Also, my bad. I'm sorry, Alex. Is one weakness you forgot on there too, though. You forgot to put one of your weaknesses.
Oh, I mean, the other notes I had for my weaknesses, besides trying to do it over the internet, was just like, as we were talking about earlier, I hold myself back when I feel like I should be confident.
Oh yeah. But the one thing that you did forget was you're a Chicago Bears fan, so you know that.
Hey, we got to start TV right now, all right? You know, building that bridge.
I just had to love you, man. You can move on. What's your opportunities?
Hold on, I gotta find my notes again. So opportunities. I feel like I've got plenty of places to use what I want to grow on. Like in my church. I feel like we got actually next week is going to be my first week doing something simple, just like I'm doing the introduction for the whole service. Not
Good.
the
Okay.
message, but I'm doing the introduction. I'm doing the closing ceremony. So it's just opportunity to continue to feel confident in myself. And I volunteer at my work at the same time. So I help with the inclusion and diversity side. So there's plenty of opportunity to lead and voice my opinion and try to get people on the right track. So I feel like I got plenty of opportunities and I'm set in that moment for a reason.
Good. That's good.
Um, as far as threats, I mean, I feel like my biggest threat is doubting myself in the moment and when I should lead compared to, when I should step back, because I'm always putting myself on a lower step to try to give someone else the opportunity to climb, which I feel like that's part of my strength of being a people person, but at the same time I'm holding myself back because I feel like, I mean, given all the advice we've gone over so far, I'm in that moment for a reason, but I still doubt myself because I'm like, maybe this is not my moment.
Okay, good. Touching on that, because a lot of people struggle with that. I know it was one of the things I struggled with it for a long time. But I remember reading in what was that? The book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, where it says, having a low opinion of yourself. It says, do not have a low opinion of yourself, because having a low opinion of yourself can lead you to sin. So we know one of the definitions of sin, or the very definition of sin, is to miss the mark. So when you're trying to achieve a goal or something like that, but you lack that self-confidence, what it does is it causes you to doubt yourself, which then causes you to not fully apply yourself and apply your skills, which then causes you not to do what it is that you are trying to do. So a lot of us, especially as men in the society that we're in, we don't really know our true strengths, or we don't truly know how powerful we are, and we doubt ourselves. But what that doubt does is it actually leads us to missing the opportunity and the mark of what it is that we're trying to do.
Yeah,
So
I
as you
hate to
move,
cut in.
yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I wanted to
No,
add
you're good.
on to what you were saying because I was talking to one of my people, one of my folks, and y'all may know him. I'm sure y'all do. I was talking to Kyle, and he when I was having a conversation with him, we were talking about something like this,
Yeah.
and he broke it down to me like he was like, he was telling me how he feels like about myself. I personally feel like, excuse my language, but he said I personally feel like I'm the shit. And when
Yeah.
he was breaking it down to me and explaining it to me, it was like we've been kind of subdued and kind of like
Yeah.
sometimes we make
Bring it out.
ourselves more
Yeah.
humble
Bring it
than we
out.
should be,
Yep.
right? Because
Yes.
there are times where we gotta exude, like we know, because when you know to be humble already and you understand that, right? It's okay to feel like you that dude. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
it's okay to feel like that because you put the work in, you put the time in, and you're capable of being that dude. So when you're capable of being that dude, go ahead and be that dude. You know what I mean? Just make sure we don't, lose that balance, that humble balance that we always exude. But
Yes.
it really affected me when he said that, because I'm like, yo, that's crazy. It's always like that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? We always
Absolutely.
gotta remember and maintain that confidence in ourselves.
Yes, sir. Good. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. That right there, just trying to figure. And one of the things that I've realized, and I've talked to a couple of people about this in regards to that, it's almost like there's an attack on self-confidence right now. Like people who have self-confidence, they get labeled as cocky, arrogant, mislabeled as narcissists, like all this type of just
Facts.
unnecessary
Yeah.
stuff where it's like, hold on, how am I supposed to achieve the goal? But here's the thing. Society wants you to be weak and feeble so that way it can have you do what it wants you to do. If you're strong enough to overtake the society, quote unquote, that's not good for the society. So we get it go, and I'm gonna use this analogy a lot as we're going through. If y'all remember the experiment with the monkeys and the banana at the top of the ladder with the shock collars, what has happened now is now society doesn't have to, or the powers that be don't have to, do the attacking. We attack one another. we tear one another down. So you have somebody who has this confidence, and when they show supreme confidence in themselves, their skills and their abilities, all things that they've earned, all things that they've worked when they've built up, all of a sudden it's a negative thing. That's not how it should be. So as you continue to push forward, Alex, what you were talking about, doing the things, like you said, you did the intro, you did the exit. Now that is putting you in a position to build up your confidence, so that way you can keep moving forward and where it is that you're trying to go to. It. Did I say that correctly? Correct?
I gotta add something to that.
All right.
But in order to build our confidence, one thing I learned that we gotta build our competence.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's how we gain our confidence with that. With that being said, you know.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're right. And that's the thing. We put this work in, and the reward for the work is the knowledge to know that you can do it. Like, that's one of the reward. Of course, it's doing it, but half the battle is just believing that you can do it. And when you gain the knowledge to do it, then you have to act on that knowledge. There's nothing wrong with knowing that you can get something done. Sometimes you're gonna fail. That's okay, but there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna go on here, Alex. That was your last point, right?
Yeah, I think we left off. That was I'm trying to find the last
threat.
The threats. Yeah, that's where we left off.
All right, I'm gonna read mine real quick. My SWOT analysis, my strengths. I'm a strong orator. I'm driven. I'm passionate. I'm great at telling stories. My weaknesses: I'm unorganized. I have a short attention span. I don't have the best memory. My opportunities: I'm a former educator, so that connects me to a network of individuals where I can go in and speak. I can, put my books in these areas. I can go in and help teach those things. And then I'm currently doing public speaking. So by me, let's say, some of you all know I do the lessons at the congregation. That keeps me sharp. So I'm always speaking in front of people. I'm always speaking and then getting feedback from people. So I know where to improve at, where I can get better at, all of those things. And then my threats, I came up with one. I was trying to think. I didn't go down the line of threats like you did, like you all did. I went down like, okay, like, for instance, if I want to be a public speaker, one of the biggest threats right now, of course, is COVID. Because some places you can't even go. I'm an unvaccinated individual. There's a lot of places you can't even go if you don't have a vaccine. So that kind of limits where I can go at to make money. But then, it's always, you can always find a balance there. One of my, I'm going to go back on real quick. One of my weaknesses, which is my short attention span. DeMel is somebody that helped me out with this a lot. DeMel could tell you I used to be all over the place. I had an appliance repair business. I was investing in vending machines, stock market, doing all this, doing all type of everything. And DeMel's like, bro, you got too much going on. Like, you need to pick. And I was like, I can't pick because I'm able to do all of these things. But by me literally honing in on one section, it allowed me to build success in all of those things. If I was still trying to figure out how to, have a successful vending machine business, I don't publish my books. I don't. If I'm still focusing on how to become a millionaire in the stock market, I don't build this consulting business that I have. So that's why I had, it's very important that we get folks in, and it is hard because everything, you start seeing stuff is shiny. But you got to realize, and Rocky, you said it earlier, it's not about the prize, it's about the journey, it's about the process. So when you're focusing in on the process, you don't care about what the prize is because you just want to execute the process. Because the process is going to bring you the byproduct, which is the prize. But the process is more important. So yeah, that's that. Let me go here. That was great. Great job. Great job.
Go back to that elephant. Eating one bite at a time.
Eat elephant one bite at a time. Yes, sir.
You can't chase a whole bunch of elephants, though.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you're right. Jump on one elephant. And if you think about it real quick, when lions go hunting and they chasing around a bunch of elephants, but then once they find that one elephant, what are all the lions, what do? They don't have one lion trying to take down one elephant, the other lion trying to go get other elephants. No, once one lion get good on the elephant, they all jump on that elephant. They all jump on that water buffalo. They all jump on that hippo. And they all put all their energy into making that kill. And that's how we have to be in our life. Like, yeah, you got many things that you're good at, but once you find that one thing that you locked your teeth in, you need to exert all your energy and effort into that and staying focused on that. Just because this elephant might still be fighting on the ground. You might see a little baby elephant running by, and that's another opportunity. That's akin to another opportunity. You're not going to jump off this one that's on the ground and go chase that baby one just because it looked like a sweet lick. No, you're going to stay locked in on this one. And that's why we got to stay focused in on our goals. But that's why we're here today. Because another part of this, what we're doing is we're going to be each other's accountability partner. We're going to come up with, we all have said, these are the things that we stay in focus. So we're going, hey, man, hey, this is what we're doing today. Hey, did you do that today? Did you focus in on that? Hey, we don't want no excuses. Like, get it done. Make the time to get it done. You said you wanted to, like, for instance, I give myself an example. Let's just say I wanted to write, I'm working on a book and I want to write for 4 hours. Hey, man, did you write for your 4 hours today? No, I don't know. Ain't no, man, no, get that done. Don't go to sleep till you get that done. Things are going to pop up the mail. You said that earlier. We got all these things, all these hats that we wear as men. Here's the thing. We're blessed as men to carry burdens. It is a blessing to carry the burdens because we shape everything. We literally, everything around us we built. That's the blessing of the burden, being able to build the world around you. But you got to understand those burdens are always going to be there. So you have to figure out, how can I maneuver around these burdens in order to achieve what it is that I'm trying to achieve? And that's what we're here to do. Keep each one of us accountable and locked in on their path so that way they can move forward how they want to move forward. So as we go on, we get these creative juices flowing now. Now, I want to focus in on this 21-day fast. The fast is starting tomorrow. 21-day fast. I want to talk about a couple of laws. Law of sacrifice. So the law of sacrifice states that you cannot get something you want without giving up something in return. In order to attain something you believe is of greater value, you must give up something you believe is of lesser value. And then a law of vibration. You're in consistent motion. You're in a consistent motion that can form your life, your lived experience. This means that if you are manifesting a certain lifestyle, you have to adjust yourself to that desired level. You can apply the law of vibration by participating in mindful practices that are what you are attracting. So we're doing this fast so that we can sacrifice good and bad. So we want to give up something so that way we can show the entity in which we serve, hey, I'm willing to give up this so that way you can give this thing to me in which I'm trying to achieve. Also, we want to sacrifice the things in which are going to hold us back. So people do fast, and most times people do, I'm going to do a fast from food, I'm going to do fast from this, and that's fine and that's cool. But why not do a fast when all of us have said we all struggle with, let's just say, staying focused. Why not fast from distractions for the next 21 days? Why not fast from, if you procrastinate, fast from procrastination for the next 21 days? Fast from these things. So it ain't just, let me fast from sugars, let me fast from meat. Like those things we're going to do as well, because those are the sacrifices we're giving up to get what we want. But also, let me fast from like procrastination. Rocky, you brought up, you're in a class where it's self-paced. Fast from procrastination. Hey, I'm not going to allow myself to just keep dragging this thing out. No, I'm going to go ahead and knock this thing on out and get it done with. I'm going to fast from procrastination. I'm going to, Alex, you talked about, in the classroom setting and stuff like that, sitting back and not knowing when to act. No, I'm a fast from being passive. Or when you're having conversations with your wife, I'm going to fast from already having my answer ready to give an answer. No, I'm going to fast from not being in the moment. Derek, you talked about you know, and it's something that you worked on, which is listening more. Hey, I'm gonna fast from always talking first. I'm gonna make sure I'm fasting, so not talking first, so that way I give myself a full opportunity to listen. So these are some of the things that we're gonna fast from. So let's take the opportunity to write down some physical things we're gonna fast from. Some people like, and we talked about fasting yesterday. You got different type of fast. You got water fast, dry fast, food fast, music fast, talking fast. You got a lot of different fasts that you can do. So let's write down a few physical things we're going to fast from, and then let's write down some of those negative traits we want to fast from. And when we fast from those negative traits, automatically what should happen is we should fill those negative traits with something good. So for instance, if I'm fasting from procrastination, what's going to replace that procrastination is what's the word I'm looking for? Accomplishment, quicker accomplishment. So that's what we want to do right now. So let's take a couple of moments to write down the things of which we're going to be fasting from and exactly what it's going to look like. So that way, when you go back to your entity that you serve, whatever that may be, you can say, hey, look, this is what I gave up. And then you can say, hey, this is what I want to return when we get to that. So let's do that. Let's take a couple of moments to do that. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start. And then we'll just go down the line real quick. Ty, I know you on the call. I know you said you driving, so appreciate you being here. Just keep listening, and when you get home, you go through these things as well. So, and I'm gonna keep mine like I want to keep things simple, short, right to the point, really hone in on these things. So I'm gonna fast from 3 physical things. I want to fast from processed sugars. I want to fast from fried foods, and I want to fast from meats. The reason why I'm choosing these 3 things is because meats, I don't know what it is. Meats is like I feel like, I like when I'm eating, I gotta have meat for that day. I don't know what it is, but it's something that I don't want controlling me. I want to control it. So I'm gonna fast from it. Fried foods. I've done a lot of fast before, but one of the things that I like that I'll do is if I can't get that craving, I'll go get some fries from McDonald's. I'll go get a bag of Lay's, plain Lay's potato chips. But those things are things that I use to basically supplement for my weakness. I don't want to do that. I want to stay strong. So I want to get rid of that. And then processed sugars, just getting that out. I got to do that. Now the non-physical things, I want to fast from being inconsistent. That's one of my biggest struggles. Like, I'm very inconsistent. I want to make sure that I'm being consistent. I want to fast from that inconsistency. I want to be consistent, set up a daily schedule and stick to it and do it every day. I want to fast from procrastination, waiting until the last minute to get things done. I want to fast from negative communication. I want to make sure I'm keeping all my communication. And when I say me personally, when I'm talking about negative communication, I'm talking about things that don't serve a positive purpose in what it is that I'm trying to do. So I know I made a joke about Alex, being a fan of the Chicago Bears earlier, but like to me, negative communication is talking overabundance of talking about sports, because me having an overabundance of talking about sports, that may not help me reach my goals. So to me, that's a negative communication. Somebody else, that might be fine, but this is just for me personally. And then the last thing is I want to fast from information overload. For me, information overload has caused me to be paralyzed. And I have to get away from that, because one of the things that I realized is there's a lot of information going on right now. And you literally have people, and I give an example. Shannon Sharp the other day said, in order to be successful, you cannot be balanced. He said, to be successful, you have to have an imbalance. He said, when I played football, I was a terrible brother, son, father, spouse, all of these things. But that's because I love football so much. And that's how he became one of the greatest tight ends of all time in the Hall of Fame. But on the other end, you have Eric Thomas, who says, you're not a good man unless you are 120% as a father, as a husband, as a worker, as a whatever. So you have two people on opposite ends of the spectrum who are telling you two totally different things, and they're both successful at what it was that they said. So I have to cut out all that information overload, figure out what works for me, and then just go for that. So that's why I'm going to cut that information overload out, because all it does is keep me paralyzed in one spot. So real quick, DeMel, do you want to share with us the things that you want to fast from?
Yeah, how you know I was ready?
I just said,
let me go ahead
that's
and
it.
go. All right, I'm gonna keep it real simple.
Okay.
3 things. 2 of them are distractions, and 1 of them is character.
Okay.
Distractions: social media scrolling and unimportant web browsing. Just
Okay.
looking up random stuff on the internet, or got time for that. I want to be more focused and intentional about my time. And the 3rd one, I want to fast from anger and impatience.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Good.
that's it.
Okay, good. That's good, man. That's good. Dear, you got yours? What you want to fast from?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right.
Now talking first, of course, the social media scrolling, because I do got that bad, but I need that with my I need the social media so I can get out there and network.
Mm-hmm.
And then the no processed food, like cooking more home-based meals, like,
Yes, sir.
because I've been eating like golden chicken. And then when me and my wife was going through it, like I kind of went back to kind of like, it ain't bad, but I'm not gonna make it a habit of drinking, so I'm fasting from the alcohol.
Okay, good. All right.
I see my tolerance was kind of leveling back up to how it was.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. So you got those. So those are those main things. All right, cool. Rocky, you got the things you want to fast from?
Yeah. Let me see. For the physical things, I put down like everybody says, social media, bro. You waste 4 hours a day scrolling down social media.
Facts.
I put you don't even like a post nothing, you just scrolling.
Yeah.
I put wasting time on things not pertinent to my goal, and kind of similar to what you said already. But I know easy distractions, like you will blow a whole day on something that is ridiculous to blow a whole day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You just sitting down watching movies all day, you know?
Yeah.
And then I put distractions while I'm in the midst of pursuing my my end goal because you know, I might be in the middle of my course and something might pop up and I might go to the other thing, you know? And then for negative traits to fast from, I put procrastination, inconsistency, and hesitation.
Okay. All right, good. Alex, you got your things you want to fast from?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button for a second. I mean, to start, I mean, like you mentioned a second ago, they kind of go together as far as being passive or not participating in the moment. And instead of feeling that in the moment, I want to take that, even if it's not to be a leader in that moment, but just to use it as practice. Because I mean, you learn so much more from actually practicing compared to just not stepping in when you had the option.
Yes.
So I just, even if I'm not, you know, like I said, just that main moment is just at least putting my hat in for something. So
Gotcha.
And then as far as the home side of it, I'm more on the physical, but as not having an answer before the conversation's even done, like just having that patience and understanding that most of the time she just, as a spouse, even when it comes to the kids, it's just they want a connection more than they want a correction. So just trying to live in that moment as it is. As far as the physical side, is I know you mentioned the food, but yeah, that's a big thing for me is fast food, because it's too easy when I'm just like, man, well, you know, you got a Taco Bell or something quick around the corner like a McDonald's, and compared to, all right, well, should I sit here and prepare this meal for my family, or spend $10 at a fast food restaurant and give them, you know, something simple? But
Man, look, real quick, I'm sorry. I had to go meet my son Liam's mom to pick him up. And I you know, had to go do a job before, so I didn't get a chance to eat before I left the house. So got something to eat. That was $8-9. You know, it was a 3 and some change hour driving there. You know, that was, got there, was hungry. So that was another $10. Then drove back. When I got back, I'm hungry again. That's another $10. I'm like, man, I spent $30. And that's in between, you know, brunch and lunch. Like, yeah, you throw away money real quick on that fast food, man. You definitely got to fast from that, boy.
And then also, like, instead of like snacking on popcorn and chips like that, you grab an apple or something, banana. I ate a raw bell pepper the other day. It was good too.
at least it was a bell pepper and not like a hot pepper or something crazy.
Nah, and then my coworker, he put me on something, man. Like, he had got an avocado, like he had chopped it up real good, put some little pico on there, and it was so refreshing, man. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it had me feel better too. Like, I didn't feel sluggish, because a lot of ladies in the past would have me sleepy.
Yeah.
Tired. Sluggish.
Like they put melatonin in it or something. Yeah.
I'm telling that golden chick behind me, she was slumped.
Now, Alex, what else you had?
I mean that was really it. I wrote a note from when you were talking earlier. As far as not everyone's fast or everyone's situation will be the same, but the note I wrote was like, not every picture it uses the same color or uses the same paint to get the picture done. But like, I mean, it just about understanding what you need for your moment. That's really it. I just had that note in there, but yeah.
Got you. Okay. All right. So we got our fasting. So everybody got with their fasting. Now, as we move forward, it's basically, you know, that's a wrap. That's all I want to get to that. One thing that I was just thinking of. So this is all, you know, cute and nice and wonderful. Oh, okay, this is what we want to fast from. But as we know, you got to have some type of fire there. So I want you all to think of what's going to be your punishment, or what's going to be your consequence, not punishment, what's going to be your consequence for you not, you know, following this. Like, let's just say you fall off the wagon and like say for me, have, you know, unfruitful communication. what I'm gonna do. So I got my punishment or my consequence. I'm gonna knock out 25 push-ups and I'm gonna put $5 in the jar. That's gonna be mine. 25 push-ups and $5 in the jar. So that's gonna be mine right there. So if you all real quick, I want to think about that. So that's a wrap for that. Like I said, we want to stay real focused, locked in on, okay, we're going to do specifically each little section, starting our fast tomorrow. So whatever it is you're fasting from, starting that tomorrow. When we come on tomorrow to talk, we're going to, hey, how did we do this? How did you do? How did that work for you? And then, just encourage each other how we can, be more successful at what it is that we're trying to do, and then holding each other accountable. Like, nah, man, that's unacceptable. We can't keep letting that slide. So we're going to do that. So the last thing real quick, I want to read letter 2. Yesterday was letter 1 that we read from Letters to a Young Brother by Hill Harper. One of the very important things that I think that we took from letter 1 yesterday was, I could say what that letter in Curtis Martin, when Curtis Martin basically was like, being balanced. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna read it real quick. He said, be balanced, secure enough to be vulnerable, strong enough to be gentle, wise enough to be humble, and powerful enough to serve others. I think that was one of the most powerful parts of the first section of the book that we read yesterday. So that was that. I'm going to go ahead and read letter 2, and then we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Letter 2, friends as family. Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. That's a quote from Oprah Winfrey. Dear young brother, hey man, it took you a while to write me back. I was hoping my first letter didn't scare you off or intimidate you. Glad to see it did. It's early morning here in LA, and outside there's a kind of misty fog, or is it smog? In your letter, you kept saying, I got things under control, on lock. I can handle things all by myself. I don't need anybody else. Everything you wrote, as well as your tone, concerns me. We all need help at different times in our lives. None of us can do it alone. That's why I'm writing you this letter. First and foremost, I need you to know that you now have a friend. I'm your real flesh and bone, 24/7 friend. Okay? Now, how do you define friend? For real, how do you define it? Write your definition of a friend on a piece of paper. I want you to do this because I was once told that if I could define what it is that I need in a friend, I can allow someone to be that for me. And more importantly, I can learn to be that for myself. At first, I thought it was bull. More grown-up, overeducated crap meant to control how I felt and keep me out of trouble. But I was a know-it-all smartass, ready to prove somebody wrong. So I gave it a shot. The first definition of friendship I came up with was a friend is someone I can whip all day at Madden, and he not only does it, take it personally, he's up for a rematch the next day. Then it deepened for me, and I included words like loyalty, trust, and honesty. How do you go about choosing your friends, and the qualities that are important to you can impact you for a lifetime? The reason I want you to define friendship clearly for yourself is because many times we have people in our lives who we call friends, but they don't fit our description. They should be called acquaintances. When I was in high school, I was a friend, Bobby, who considered himself something of a daredevil. When I was in high school, I had a friend, Bobby, who considered himself something of a daredevil. He drove a bright red souped up Ford Mustang that was the envy of all his friends. Hold on one second, fellas. Hold on one second. Having a little technical difficulty here. All right, my bad about that. All right. I had a friend, Bobby, who considered himself something of a daredevil. He drove a bright red souped up Ford Mustang that was the envy of all his friends, including me. Whenever Bobby had a car full of friends, He loved to punk people by driving recklessly. He would speed up and wait until the absolute last second before hitting the brakes and avoid slamming into another car. We all pretended to enjoy Bobby's thrill-seeking antics, but I didn't think I was the only one who dreaded being in his passenger seat. One day, against my better judgment, I accepted a ride from Bobby. It was what I thought would be a quick trip home, but Bobby drove in the opposite direction of my house, recklessly speeding up and slamming on brakes for sport. After he narrowly missed the car in front of me that was carrying a mother and her 2 children, I became concerned for my safety and the safety of other drivers on the road. I didn't want to sit silently while Bobby put lives at risk. I told him to stop the car and let me out. I didn't get out of the car just for my own safety. I got out because I didn't want to validate Bobby's behavior. It didn't matter that it was in the middle of winter, that we were nowhere near my house, or that I risked ridicule. He and the other guys cracked up. It was obvious that they didn't think I was cool. As I stepped out of the car, I realized I was more cool and cold. It was freezing outside. They tried to tease me, but I could care less. I was smart enough to see our appointment with tragedy if I kept getting into the car with Bobby, and I decided to avoid it. I realized then and there that my life was too valuable to cave to peer pressure by doing things I didn't feel was right, just so that other people would think I was cool. To me, there was nothing cool about letting other people lead me down the road to trouble. And moreover, I realized that if I didn't speak up about other people's actions that I knew were wrong, then I was a silent accomplice in their actions. Pick friends that you wish were your family. The reason I'm telling you this story is to illustrate the importance of choosing your friendship based on strong shared convictions. You can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. So pick friends who you wish were your family. Today, I have a wealth of solid friendships, but by that, I mean people I can call in a pinch at 3 a.m. Luckily for my friends, I haven't needed to make too many of those calls. But it's crucial for me to know I have friends who love me enough to be there for me no matter what. Shout out to all my friends who are like family to me. My boys like Andre, Ari, Brian, Jordan, and Sean. Choose your friends wisely because they are a reflection of who you are. Whatever definition you just wrote of how you define a friend, that's what I commit to being for you. Starting now, I, Hill Harper, am your new friend. Someone was there for me once when I needed a friend, and that friendship changed my life. I was never able to repay the debt of that friendship, but when I read your letters, it became important to me to be that friend to you. That means taking the time, energy, and interest to care about you. I like what the great Michael Jordan said about friendship. Friends are my heart and my ears. My friend is someone who has your back. A friend is someone to talk to. A friend is someone who cares about you. I am someone who has your back. Do you see what I'm saying? While it is important to have friends, it is also important to realize that you, completely on your own, have to be able to make yourself happy. It is by making active choices in our lives that include friendships, careers, education, hobbies, family relationships, and other interests that we learn how to bring happiness into our lives. When I was your age, I didn't even know I could be happy. Not happy because I got some new gear or because some girl liked me, but happy just because I woke up in the morning with a day ahead full of nothing but possibilities. I'm here to tell you that happiness is your birthright, but happiness is also yours to choose. Let's make this choice right now. One of the ways I do this is with mantras, a series of words that help focus your mind and spirit on a particular thought or goal. That I say to myself sometimes, let's do this together and repeat after me. Right now, say to yourself, I believe I can be happy. Say this right now. Repeat. I am happiest when I approach life from a place of positive energy, passion, and enthusiasm. You now have a new older brother, a friend, a homie, and a confidant who cares for you, who is watching you, and who is watching out for you. It is my wish that you are happy and you have the life you deserve. And believe me, you deserve a great life. I want to see you become unreasonably happy, and you can, and you will. If it can happen for me, Little Hill Harper from Iowa City, Iowa, it can happen for you. Believe that. It doesn't matter if you are from a huge loving family or if you are totally alone. By reading this letter, you have just inherited a new family member, someone committed to you thriving in your life, and that's me, Hill, your new older brother. And guess what? I love you. That's right. I am not afraid to admit the truth out loud. I'll say it again. I love you. Yeah, man, I mean you. Muhammad Ali says, what you are as great as I am is hard to be humble. When you are as great as I am, it's hard to be humble. And I am not humble about the fact that I love you, my young brother. The sheer truth that you are a soul who has a body makes you worthy and deserving of love. By reading this letter, you have joined my secret society. You have joined my family. I'm going to help you to become reasonably happy. So what do you think? Oh, you think I'm kidding? No, this is for real. This is for real. Your life isn't like a video game. It's not a movie or a TV show. It's yours and yours alone. It's really happening right now. Every second, every day counts. You can turn this life into whatever you truly want and are willing to have. You can be the one your friends brag about. You can be the difference you are seeking. You own your life completely, totally, and fully. No one else does. Man, I got a lot more stuff that I want to tell you about. And remember, you can talk about anything you want. Ask me about anything, and don't be afraid to ask me the tough questions. It's only through having the courage to ask tough questions of ourselves and others that we can reveal what's really going on. For instance, write me back and tell me about your relationship with your mom. I've noticed you're kind of avoided this subject until now. In your last letter, you kind of mentioned your mom and then said it's no big deal. Whenever I hear someone say no big deal, it's a sign that it's a big deal. So write me back and let me know what's really going on between you and your mom. Try not to let any voices censor you from being completely honest. You can trust me with the information. I promise. Hit me back as soon as you can. One, your friend Hill. Hey Hill, how come when I sit in front of your classroom and ask questions, my boys punk me and say I'm trying to be the teacher's pet? This is nothing wrong with striving to make something of yourself. What is happening is that you are breaking away from socially accepted norms that your friends have created for you, and it's not making them happy. In fact, your desire to learn is pointing out their flaws and their insecurities in the classroom. Rather than focusing on becoming better students and working hard at working smart and using school to get ahead, they are wasting an opportunity. So it is up to you to decide what is more important, your friends' taunts or knowing how to use school and make the best of the opportunity. A lot of times as our interests change, you're getting interested in school and your friends are getting less interested in school. You may find that friends become more like acquaintances, and you'll find other friends that you have more in common with. There are a lot of cool dudes who were teased by their friends as they were coming up because they were committed to excellence and seemed different than those around them. Will Smith, Kanye West, and Tiger Woods all have said that they were teased at different times when they were young. Do not allow other people's ignorance to interfere with what you know you have to do in order to be unreasonably happy and successful in your life. I also passed your question along to Anthony Anderson, someone who's been my friend for many years and is one of the funniest actors around. He's been in many great movies, including Hustle and Flow, Barbershop, Kangaroo Jack, Big Mama's House, and Romeo Must Die. I know he will have some insight into this topic. Here's what he had to say. My advice to you would be to pick up which pet you want to be and continue to ask your questions. Personally, I would choose to be a lion. What better pet to be than the king of the jungle? And not too many people I know would choose to punk a lion. The lion is a natural born leader and king. And when did getting an education become uncool? Continue to ask your questions and give your answers, because if you don't, what you will learn, because if you don't, what will you learn? And trust me, those who punk you for doing so will be punked in life for not doing so. Knowledge and education is powerful. The more you have, the more powerful you'll be. Now take that back to the jungle and be king, be a lion, Anthony. So that was the end of letter 2 right there. Does anybody have any questions, anything that they wanted to talk about, something that maybe stood out to them in that letter that we were just reading? Nobody got anything? All right, then. Hold on.
I would say as far as stood out, I think one thing in the beginning when he talked about defining what a friend could be, so someone can be that for you.
Yes.
That was something different. I never looked at it that way.
Mm-hmm. And also too, when I read that, as I was thinking as I was reading it, you can make a list or, write out, the definition of a friend, but then do that for everything else in your life. So now what that does is that gives you an opportunity to set a standard. So you're like, okay, this is what a friend is to me. This is what a brother is to me. This is what a parent is to me. This is what a spouse is to me. This is what, a sister is to me. This is what, a boss is to me. This is what a coworker is to me. This is what whatever. This is what an auto mechanic is to me. Write those things down so that way you don't feel like you just got to settle for anything. You can have your definitions, and then when you start having those definitions, what happens is that's what you start attracting. And then that's when you start getting the things out of life that you want. People aren't just, pushing you around or just, disappointing you in all these things because you're like, oh no, here's my standard. And then what happens is those people that meet that standard are the ones that end up in your life. So yeah, that was very powerful right there. Writing down a definition of what it is to be a friend. Anybody got anything else? All right. Well, that's cool. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody being on. I'm going to go ahead and close this thing out. If you want to start on our fast, 21 days straight. We're going to be on here 21 days. I strongly implore everyone to at least bring 1 to 2 other friends onto the call. Another man that you feel like can benefit from this structure, from this type of environment, who needs this help, who needs, what it is that we offer to each other here today. We're going to be on for the next 21 days. At least, for the next 21 days, doing the fast, walking each other, helping each other, encouraging each other, holding each other accountable to things we said we want to do during the fast. And we're also going to discuss the next parts of the goal. Because like I said, at the end of the 21-day fast, we want to present our intentions to the universe, to God, to Yah, to the creator, whatever it is that we call the entity. We want to present our intention to them. And then we want to say, hey, this is what we've given up. This is what we've sacrificed. This is what we're offering. This is what we want. And that way that entity can start opening up the doors to making that happen. So we're going to be very deliberate and very intentional and very meticulous with what it is that we're doing. So tomorrow we're going to hone in on just one section. Then we're going to do some more reading the next letter of the book. So I appreciate you all. I will see you all tomorrow again. Same Zoom call, same Zoom time, 9:30. I appreciate everybody being here. You all have a beautiful night. Stay safe. Reflect on what we talked about today. Go back over your notes. We talked a lot about spouses. Go talk to your spouse. Implement some of the things that you all learned from one another to help better your relationships with your spouse. Implement some of the things that you learned from one another to help better your relationship with yourself. But I appreciate you all, and you all have a beautiful evening, and I will see you all tomorrow.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for everything.
Yes, sir.
Good night, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Night.
Yes, sir.